Hi, my name is Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents. So, one of the things I think is that it's admired, what a temperament or a character trait that's often admired in our culture is the ability to be spontaneous, right? The ability to just kind of at the spur of the moment. I mean, how many movies are there about the main character or the main character's love interest? The reason why they're awesome, the reason why the main character is interested in this love interest is because there's someone who at the drop of a hat is willing to do anything, is willing to be spontaneous. And we admire that. We think that would be so cool to have that kind of freedom. And then we look at our own lives and we're like, man, because I have this schedule and I have this plan and I have this ritual and I have all this stuff that I need to do on my calendar. There's no room to be spontaneous. I would maintain that that is not necessarily the case. I would maintain that it is only discipline that allows a person to become spontaneous. It's only because that's right. We associate, right? We don't associate spontaneous people with discipline. We associate spontaneity with impulse control, maybe a lack of impulse control, because it's you can't say no to the marshmallow. Remember the marshmallow experiment? If not, look it up. It's funny. It's kind of funny. So we lack impulse control. That's why they're spontaneous. No, sorry. Clarification. Maybe in some cases, the reason a person is spontaneous is because they have to say yes to whatever comes in across their path, whatever's on their radar, they just have to say yes to this. And they actually, as I said before, lack impulse control. Those kind of people typically aren't the ones we admire the most though, right? Because they leave behind themselves a string of broken promises. I said I would do this, but I got distracted by the shiny new thing over here and squirrel, that kind of a situation, right? The kind of spontaneity that is admirable, the kind of spontaneity that actually might even be virtuous, requires discipline. In fact, it requires a schedule. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by this? Here's an example that might be from your daily life. I know it definitely is from my daily life. Okay, the alarm goes off in the morning and the day it's scheduled. I know what I want to do with the day. I know what God wants me to do with the day in the sense of okay, the first thing I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna work out, or the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna exercise. First, it's in the schedule. But what I end up doing is saying there's a reason why I'm not going to do the thing that was scheduled when it was scheduled. And we recognize this too, also, a little bullet point, sidebar. When it's on your calendar and it's something that you put some thought into when you chose to do it, to put it on your calendar, actually doing the thing in the moment when it's needed to be done is cooperating with God's will, right? So if I'm supposed to go to work at this time of day, because I committed to this, and that means it's part of my life. So when I say yes to that, it means I'm saying yes to more than just my boss. I'm saying yes to more than just the paycheck. I'm saying yes to this is on my calendar. This is what I'm obligated to do at this moment. So to do that thing would be in some way to do God's will. So I said I would pray at this hour of the day, or I said I would work out at this hour of the day. I said I would leave the house by this time of day. But when the moment of truth comes, right, when the moment of choosing happens, I the workout, it's too early right now. You know what? I have a free hour at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'll just work out then. So because I didn't do what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it, here comes 4 o'clock. Maybe I can now squeeze that workout in or squeeze that prayer time in or whatever it was I said I was going to do. But it's very likely that 4 o'clock hour, there was already something that God wanted me to do in that moment. But I can't do that now because, I didn't do what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it. So now I have to scramble and make up for this. That's one of the reasons why so many people are so stressed out, is because when it comes down to it, I didn't have the discipline to say, okay, this is the time, this is the thing, it's right now, I need to do the thing. Because of that, I'm not free later on to be spontaneous. Because I didn't actually have the discipline to have a schedule. When the time comes for me to be flexible, I can't be flexible anymore because I need to do the thing now that I was supposed to do back then. Does that make sense? I think even if it doesn't make sense necessarily religiously, it definitely makes sense experientially. I think every one of us has had that experience. And yet it goes right in the face of what the author of the letter to the Hebrews says. He says, encourage one another. It's kind of a bigger context. I'm making it kind of fit my point right now. He says, encourage one another while it is still called today, while you still have time today. Do the thing God wants you to do, when you need to do it, when He's calling you to do it. Say, I'll have time to do it later on. Yes, you might. But you know what's going to happen later on? God's going to be there too. He's going to be then as well as right now. And he might have something for you to do then. He might have a call in your life then. But in order to have the freedom to be spontaneous in that moment, which I mean in the highest way, not just to play around, but the freedom to be spontaneous in the sense of I'm going to do God's will right now in freedom and joy, I have to do God's will in the moment with freedom, with joy, and with discipline. So take a look at your life. I'm telling you this is coming out of like my lived experience right now. That's why I'm preaching to myself essentially. Take a look at your life. If this afternoon you're stressed out because there was something you have to do now that you're supposed to have done in the past, you know what I'm talking about. Make the resolution. Okay, Lord, while it's still today, while it is still right now, I'm going to do what you ask. I want to have the freedom to be spontaneous later, so I'm going to have the discipline to be scheduled right now. From all of us here at Ascension Presents, my name is Father Mike. That's it. Bye.